Oh boy,
Oh
Red
boy.
Rooster.
Oh boy.
As backers of Red Rooster, proud backers of Red Rooster, because I always wanted to read a comic about a superhero who fucks a chicken, who goes down on a yak and licks a horse's nut sack, which is, of course, what Mitch Breitweiser himself is way into himself, as we all know. Um, and this is definitely everyone knows this is what this is what the kids, the comic reading kids, were really looking forward to is a throwback to the 1930s with sidecars and
It's
dogs.
people have been screaming for this.
Yeah, gay costumes and shit. So it starts off.
Ugly ass shitty art, ugly ass shitty costumes and characters, lame fucking stories. This is what's going to peel
Gay
people
bullshit.
away from Shield Hero.
Yeah, from Rise of the Shield Hero False Rape Accusation Edition. Why read that when you can read Red Rooster Backer Preview
Why
Edition?
read something that actually connects to the audience of today when you can just make just the same garbage that has been shoveled in the faces of audiences, disinterested audiences for the past 20 years?
Or capecucks, because that's what this is actually for, is people who let social justice completely fuck their industry as they stood there and watched and jacked off. Like Richard C. Meyer himself was like praising social justice for making these retarded dog shit
Yeah,
comics.
it's not
Um,
even a metaphor. It's no longer even a metaphor. It is basically just their cucks.
so 2 years after 2 years, we get this like kind of weird sloppy art. Like I know you said not to zoom in, but I'm going to just zoom in a bit on this gay cover. How
Don't
do I?
zoom in. Don't punish the viewer
Oh
even
no.
more.
Oh, that's right. This stupid PDF, stupid PDF, stupid PDFs. You have to zoom in manually. But look at just on this cover how lazy this lazy little faggot was. You can see the individual scribble marks. He just took like a different tone on this cover and just scribbled up and down, up and
Well,
down.
first off,
I could do this.
the first thing that I needed to point out is,
This is gay.
and I guess this is a result of fucking chickens. This is a biological side effect of fucking chickens. Is you were
Keep
born
keep
without
fucking
eyes.
that chicken. Keep
Keep
fucking that chicken.
keep. I'm gonna have to tell Mitch Breitweiser in there to keep fucking that chicken. Meltdown Mitch, the Cape Cuck, bitch.
Bitch. Yeah, but
To
apparently, yeah.
stop fucking. I'm gonna have to tell him to stop fucking that chicken because now his characters no longer have eyeballs.
Yeah, and apparently Mitch himself doesn't have eyes if he's this lazy with this art and acting like this is a big triumph the 2 years late. Also, this tree, to texture the tree, it's clearly just like a thumbprint. Talk about late. He just textured a thumbprint over this tree and it's like, does that look like bark? No, it doesn't, you lazy queer. Queer.
Like you
Which is
couldn't
for
do,
sure bad.
you really couldn't do better than that. But then again, look at the cover.
You really
It's
made
people,
comics a better place, didn't you, fag?
but just I mean, the character, the costume designs, and just
Yeah, the
what's going
dog.
on. I mean, think
Stupid.
about it. I read My Hero Academia. It's amazing powers, actual fucking. There's actual stakes. You care about the
Character
character.
interaction. Yeah, the characters have like these really sharp interactions where they have rivalries and it's like, oh, this kid's like the bully, but you know, he's fun to be that.
Multi-dimensional rivalries and character backstories.
Or even the beginning, where at the beginning, Deku is like he just wants to be a hero so bad, but he doesn't have any powers, and he's just he wishes and his dreams are just crushed. But then, as he gets a little older, a superhero picks him to pass his powers on to him. So it's like, but it's like, here, I'm giving you this responsibility. I'm giving you this gift, but it's a big responsibility too, you see. And that's kind of classic superheroism in a way. This, on the other hand, just gay costumes. By the way, the
Ugly costumes.
comb, I think it's called, over the top of his head for his stupid rooster outfit on the cover, it looks like it's going over the left side of his head. It
Yes,
doesn't look even.
it doesn't look like it's there. Also, look at the
It's
thumb
not
on
going
the
down
other
the
guy.
middle.
Here's something else. The thumb on the other guy. Is it just me, or does that thumb look like it's a different? it's an attached thumb.
It's like disjointed. Yeah, it kind of looks disjointed. This
It's
one
like
I don't have
six,
as much problem with, but the other shit is clearly
it's
fucking
like
lazy.
six
Yes.
finger man alive.
Man alive, how did we get along with 5? But yeah, that that would probably be a more interesting power than this stupid ass generic. See, that's the thing. Mitch Breitweiser obviously
It's how
doesn't
how
have
do
the
you make it?
creativity to make anything better than generic.
How
He's
do you
just a
make it
generic
so that
person.
it's actually
He's a boring person. He's a generic
it's
mind.
almost fantastic. It's like a world record for being both generic and at the same time ugly.
Yeah,
But how do you do that?
yeah, it's like even you could say Tails Gets Trolled is kind of generic art, but it's generic in a way that's freakish and actually kind of impressive. This, on the other hand, not really impressive. I'm not impressed.
So the shadow on his cape, here, just literally somebody took a fucking permanent marker.
Yeah,
it took a fucking scribble.
Yeah, just took a black Sharpie and just went up and down like there, it's done.
There, it's done. I'm done. That's the cover. Are you
2
sure you
years.
don't want to work a little harder?
2 years for this. 2 years for this. You lazy
I also
little
especially
bitch.
love this little
Keyboard, the keyboard head slammingest faggot in comics, Mitch Breitweiser. I knew this comic would suck too, but I was surprised at just how much it sucked when he finally, and 24 pages after all this time. I thought it was like 70 pages.
There's this little explosion sticker on the bottom. 24
yeah.
pages. Like that's
Yeah,
like I'm supposed to be amazed by that.
Yeah, like oh wow,
I've never seen a comic that has 24 pages.
After your backers begged you for refunds, hey, 24 pages, isn't that exciting? No, actually, it's embarrassing. It's this explosion sticker, like it's embarrassing or like it's exciting over something he should be ashamed of. What is it about that? That's something Ethan does too, where he acts all excited about something that he's ashamed of. Like the fact that basically he's committed a felony and will probably go to jail over this the ribbit coin thing because he falsely sold what he claimed was silver, but it's actually just copper. He's fraudulently selling. It's like if somebody came around and said, "Hey, I have this gold coin," and it wasn't gold. Just that alone, even if you didn't buy it, just that alone is felony.
It's actually more like the thing you were saying about Al Capone. Is they eventually had to get him on tax evasion. Let's face it, he wasn't just guilty of that.
Yeah, and that's why he was like, really, they're going to get me on tax evasion? I don't think so. They know the other stuff I've done. All these other crimes and fraudulent
How can they not have me on murder?
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, tax evasion? There's no way they would get me on tax evasion. There's no way they would get me on something so insignificant compared to what I've actually done that everyone knows. I have cultists, pathetic beta cuck cultists simping for me every single day, like every minute, every waking minute of their lives for years to white knight for me. Why would they get me on just this coin thing? But they're going to, Ethan. And Mitch, you're going to go with him because you're connected. Red Rooster, Season 1, Episode 1, Fear the Darn.
Season 1.
Season 1.
I think you're like another joke for the season. If you're preparing for the harvest, guess what? All your crops just rotted.
Yes, and it's very fitting. It starts with a burial because you might as well be burying your career.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention about the cover is the sidecar on the bottom. I guess this is a Side Hackers comic. I don't know what this comic is about. I guess it's like Side Hackers meets capes or something.
Side hacking is the thing to do. And if you like superhero comics, it doesn't hurt to have a low IQ. He put a fucking...
But there's a gas tank on the bottom, the exact place you wouldn't want anything striking.
It's not a gas tank, but yeah, it's some kind of...
Well, it's not there for hydration. It's not a bottle of water.
I think it's one of those thirsty. It's one of those over-designed detail things. It's like, hey, let's put a thing underneath it. What thing? Why? No, just put it. The end. Here's also a very lazily repeated texture effect, a texture brush effect. I think this comes with a Photoshop CS2 along the underneath. You see it's
on the cloud, on the moon.
Well, it's the thumbnail or the thumbprint effect again is on the moon. I think it's doubled over. But yeah, again, he just fucking slapped it on there. It's like, there, I'm done. I'm done.
Is that what the
no,
moon
wait.
looks like?
He said, I'm done. Done.
Wait, why does he talk like a? He's 30 years old. Why doesn't he talk like other
No,
people?
he's like 40. He's 40 and still talks
What?
like a retard child.
Like a 5-year-old?
Yes. No, because 5-year-olds don't really fucking have this problem
Oh,
because they're
shit.
not loser nerds like this Mitch Breitenheimer guy,
So the comic
the
starts
famous
with a
comedian.
burial.
Yes, it starts with a burial. Very fitting for
how appropriate for a Comicsgate comic.
Season 1, though. That's like another joke against himself. It's like 24 pages. Like,
But
first of all,
especially spitting in the face of all his readers.
yeah, it's a direct insult to his backers. It's like, hey, after all this, and people begged me for refund for the last 3 months, every comment on his fucking Indiegogo is just saying, hey, give me a refund. Hey, loser, give me a refund. Just one after the other, after the other. It's fucking hilarious. And after all that, 24 pages, wow.
Season 1, episode 1.
Yeah, season 1, the final season, obviously.
The final episode. It's like Mitch Breitweiser, The Adventures of Mitch Breitweiser's Anal Virginity, the final episode. It's the name of the show. Why would you name the show the final episode?
Why that? How come he's doing that? Is he gay or something? I have no idea Mitch Breitweiser was gay.
I had no idea he was sick.
Yeah. Anyways, I think some gold-plated chains would make a really good retirement gift for a very, very good Comicsgate simp cuck, which all of them are. All of you in Comicsgate, you were always cucks. You're always going to be.
You all deserve some gold-plated chains.
Yes. So, and of course,
may your gold-plated chains rest lightly against you.
yes, may they weigh lightly over your fucking body. But of course, there'll be Ethan Van Sciver gold-plated chains, so they'll just be yellow spray paint. That somehow comes off. I didn't know it was possible. Usually, yellow spray paint's very adhesive, but when Ethan Van Sciver sprays it on there, it just falls.
Like it's cheaper than just spray paint. It's
He saved 2 entire copper pennies. What do you get when you fit 5 copper pennies into the assholes of each of the remaining members of Comicsgate? Nickelback.
Nickelback. This is a very appropriate combination, comparison between those two things. Comicsgate and Nickelback.
Except Nickelback has more integrity and is better.
Nickelback has more talent. Nickelback has more talent in their own field. They actually have more talent as comic book creators and as musicians.
Yes, and they don't make comics, and they suck. They suck at both, but they're still better than Comicsgate. I mean, here's the thing about Comicsgate. And as you know, you could see by Jawbreakers and the embarrassment of Cyberfrog, it was just a pointless mess. Even if its own backers were saying, yeah, Cyberfrog was pretty pointless. But this comic also proving it, that they just don't have any fucking talent. They're making comics worse than the SJW. Because at least the SJW comics were like embarrassingly bad. These are just embarrassing. They were like hilariously bad, though. These aren't even funny to laugh at. They're just kind of sad and pointless. And
they actually get paid too. That's another.
That's
another.
Sad fact. They're getting paid in peanuts, but they're getting paid at least. And so but hey, when you're in Walmart in a few weeks, running past the aisles looking for toilet paper, feel free to continue to ignore Red Rooster as the rest of the comic reading world has. They've been ignoring it, and they will be ignoring it.
Let's face it, it's not going to be there in 2 weeks. It's not going to be there probably ever. For all I know.
Well, even if it's there, you're going to see unsold copy. You're going to always see unsold copies. So you'll see plenty.
In a corner of your eye as a blur as you fucking run past.
Yes, to fucking clothesline an 80-year-old woman who's too close to the toilet paper aisle. You can maybe you'll get a nice glimpse of this really lazily. I mean, this is the cover. Why was he so lazy with it? I thought this guy was supposed to be a good artist, but I mean, this doesn't even look like a good fill-in page on a manga. Like a fill-in page on a manga would be better than this. And this is the cover. What's wrong with this guy? I really don't get it. But okay, let's actually start going into the comic itself.
Now that all that said, we can actually start the comic review.
First rule of having your character in any art form: don't have them talk to themselves. In a comic book, you can have narration captions. In this first page, he's actually talking to himself out loud. Nobody does. That's bad writing right off the start.
While he's alone, he's not talking to anyone else. He's talking to himself.
But he's also exposition dumping right off the start. Win it off,
and it's so fucking corny and
trite, cliched, low
almost vomited up a lung. It's so bad.
This comic
is so bad.
Well, first of all, because this comic was printed in China, just like Ethan Van Sciver's comics are printed in China, because he really doesn't care about American businesses. They don't care about American businesses. They don't care about American printing.
Got a fucking American bald eagle on the fucking as your icon, though.
Yeah, the logo's a bald eagle, but he has this printed in China. When Tim Lim and Doug TenNapel have theirs specifically printed in America, and it wasn't even really to save money. They Mitch the capecuck bitch saved maybe a couple of cents printing this in China, and it's already giving us the coronavirus. That's bad. That's not good.
I'm already fighting off the coronavirus.
I mean, yeah, we're beating the shit out of the coronavirus.
Blunting the coronavirus with my superior genetics.
After 2 weeks of suffering, the coronavirus died. The poor coronavirus suffered. It was dying and it was suffering. Speaking of gritty narration, but it's not narration. He's talking out loud to a shovel. So he's talking
to a shovel. We know who he's talking to. A shovel.
Yes. So he's either Malkavian, so that means the main character here is a vampire.
It's part of the
copyright World of Darkness trademark. Vampire the Masquerade. So there's IP fraud already right in the first panel. But either that or he's just schizophrenic. Which is it? Mitch, Meltdown.
Actually, Mitch, there's a third option here that you're not realizing. You probably realize it, but it needs to be verbalized. It's bad writing.
Whoa,
it's such bad writing.
But I mean, it can also be a combination of any of the above.
It's just started too. We're not even off the first page yet.
Wait, you know what? Here's my personal theory. You could say this is just my headcanon, but he's schizophrenic and it's bad writing, which, that makes sense for Comicsgate, considering that Ethan Van Sciver does have borderline personality disorder. He is mentally ill. He has a mental illness. That also explains one of the symptoms of BPD is constant projection. So whenever you hear him say anything else is mentally ill, that's just completely textbook projection on Ethan's part. But
it's one of the mental illnesses that I have no sympathy for, by the way.
No. Well, all of the mental illnesses I have no sympathy for.
Well, if you're actually schizophrenic, like you're hearing voices and shit, I feel bad because you didn't ask for that. You didn't put that on yourself, and you're probably not trying to put it on anyone else either.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, where he's got his conversion disorder, he's just an asshole for doing that.
Well, BPD, I have no sympathy for that. And you're just being a faggot, cunt.
Yeah, it's like being a woman. You might as well be.
It's
put on a skirt already.
Ethan Van Sciver may as well strap on a dress. Oh wait, he already does that.
He might as well strap on a strap on.
He may as well put on a woman's wig. Oh wait, we have pictures of him doing that from only a few months ago.
Was that like a Photoshop, you mean?
No, that was something he did on. We don't have pictures of him. He has a stream on his own channel of him doing it. It's embarrassing.
You're kidding. Why would he admit? Why would he actually do that?
Because he looks fucking like he's 70 years old. That's why.
He looks amazing.
And he's mentally ill. There's
He's stunning and brave.
him brain broken. If he were a Comanche Indian, they would have kicked him to death as a child.
They will have kicked him to death at age 50.
Yeah, yes, as a child at age 50.
This was a mistake not doing this earlier.
Him brain broken. Anyways,
anyway, so there's apparently this comic.
Yeah, by another mentally ill person.
Do we even need to say anything else about the comic? No, we don't.
Mitch the Meltdown capecuck bitch. But yeah, I feel like that's the whole review. We could stop at that. You already know the comic's bad. This comic sucks a dick.
We've already scientifically diagnosed the comic as being bad.
You can see the lack of self-awareness just on the cover. When that happens, it's over. It's already over. The comic skate's femoral artery has been slit in the bathtub. It's already over. But here, we'll continue on with a few pages. We will keep going until we can't tolerate this embarrassing.
Comic skate also swallowed a pound of aspirin, downed it with a jug of wine, of boxed wine, and then called all their family members and 911 like a teenage girl.
Yes. Which Ethan Van Sciver, I'm sure, has done in the past. Well, he did that with Gail Simone, where he fucking he was crying on her shoulder, being like, my wife and their house mortgage, and Gail Simone had to comfort him. He's such a little girl. When you have to have Gail Simone, fridge lady, fucking. The fucking she got her career by whining about women being fridged, and you have to cry out
about female characters dying in stories, which somehow makes it more extra special victimization.
Yeah, it's so bad that women die. When men die, it's okay. When men die in real life, she doesn't give a shit. But when women die in a comic book, ooh, she's gonna be so mad. She's gonna write a whole blog post about it.
Thomas Wayne dying in the alleyway.
Yeah,
that's like a legitimate character motivation. Martha Wayne dying in the alleyway. That is sexism, rape culture.
Rape.
It's an extra special spit in the face of women.
It's spit in the face of women. Believe me, if I could write a comic that spit in the face of women,
I would. Stop making me.
That's my life's goal.
Stop making me want to read comics.
Yes. Yeah, if only.
I know they're not that good.
If only comics spit in women's faces more, I would actually be able to enjoy them a little bit.
I would actually respect the medium and the fans.
Yes, trust me.
More.
As misogynist, neo-Nazi mass murderers and school shooters, I have to say, comic books not sexist enough, not racist enough for my taste. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong.
We could be wrong. Taste. We could be wrong. We're not.
Well, we're not.
But we could be.
We could. Yeah, anyone is capable of it, but we're not. Anyways, added to which, we also it's funny how with Comicsgate you can make an argument, prove it with sources and figures, and they'll be like, no, you didn't prove anything. And it's like, yeah, we did. You're just mentally ill. You're in denial. It's called denial. How come I'm not aware of it?
Whenever somebody says something like that, they're absolutely scrambling to say anything.
Yeah, it is a mental illness. Just that, if you have denial at all, you are mentally ill.
They're too weak to simply own up to their mistakes.
But that means all of Comicsgate is mentally ill, and I don't mean that because the War Campaign actually has like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder, as does Ethan. But even the Tangential, Comicsgate adjacent. They're in denial, which is conversion disorder, which is a mental illness, which goes to show now at QED, all of Comicsgate is mentally ill. So now that we pointed this out, this comic, Red Rooster.
Back to this dog shit comic.
Yes.
It was too painful to talk about where we go from here. Yes, I could tell it was too painful for him to talk. The way he was spilling paragraphs of bullshit prose. It's straight up prose.
Yeah, it's exposition dump, the laziest exposition dump. Again, right there. When I see that in a comic, I'm done. I see it on the first page. First page is,
Yeah,
the whole
is
comic
this
over.
really where you want to start your comic? Is this really what you think is going to
It's with laziness.
all of the readers who are already busy reading better things, like such as Berserk and fucking
My Hero
Delicious in
Academia.
Dungeon?
Yeah, Delicious in Dungeon, Stravaganza, fucking One Punch Man. You really think they're going to be putting that down for this
Oh, look,
incompetent
it's
faggotry? You
flannel
can't write.
flag.
Fucking this isn't even written. It's just like you could have a fanfic writer on DeviantArt do at least as good of a job as this. But anyways, when it all fell apart, you caught the little last piece of me before it hit the ground with the rest of the wreckage. You help me keep it together. We know that's good. No, that's what you do. Thank you. And again, as you were pointing out, like no one has eyes except in these extreme close-ups or regular close-ups where they have just little slit eyes, and it's like
Even then,
again, nobody wants that in comics anymore.
absolutely what you cannot and should not be doing, especially
that's
for your
over.
main character. This is the main character. This is the first time we're seeing him, and he doesn't have eyes.
This is really stupid though. Here, it was too painful to talk about where to go. You're talking. You're doing plenty of talking.
Yes, it's clearly not too painful to talk.
But here's like a goofy.
Well, again, also just
this
a
quote here is fucking hilarious though.
This fucking dialogue, though, I have to absolutely say, I am tired of people doing this shit. Yeah, where it's like, oh, look how wise he is. No, he's just a fucking corny ass douchebag.
Yeah, but this type of narration and talking is lazy. It's writing laziness to its most extreme.
Nobody he didn't think that.
Talks to a shovel and shit.
He didn't think that.
Yeah, because he has no taste.
Genius.
They have low IQs. Everyone in Comicsgate. If they had high IQs, they wouldn't be in Comicsgate. As we QED.
Mitch fucking threw his shoulder out, jerking himself off and patting his own back.
And he may have thrown his neck out, slamming his head into the keyboard in incompetent, impotent bitch boy rage, little faggot cuck rage, which all of Comicsgate has. Comicsgate is based off of impotent rage.
You need to explain that because it's quite hilarious.
Oh, you mean him slamming his head into his keyboard?
Slammed his head into his keyboard. Guess why he did that? Because somebody accused his comic of being late, which it was.
Yes, exactly. And so he starts. He actually says, "I'm going to slam my head in my keyboard," and just slams his head in his keyboard repeatedly, live on stream. And he stopped streaming after that because we made fun of it. I made an animated GIF of him doing it, and I also made an animated GIF of the Laylee mad online laughing at his pain fucking emoji overlaid, which is
again. And why is he in pain? Why is he in pain? He chose to make a comic.
You know why he's in pain? Because he deserves it. Why do women get periods? Because they deserve it.
Why do women get periods? Because Mitch Breitweiser is shit at making comics.
Why does Mitch Breitweiser and Ethan Van Sciver, why do they get periods? Because they deserve it. Because they're fucking they're inflamed uteri, collectively inflamed uteri. I bet they're both on the same cycle. Anyways. This panel here, though, the penultimate panel, you can even call it the second, because it's the second to last one. But the fucking you remember in Space Ghost Coast to Coast when he would rear back and roar to the heavens? Yeah, it's exactly what this looks.
It looks like it's traced from that.
It was hilariously stupid in Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and it knew it. In this, it looks this stupid, but you can tell the moron drawing this comic doesn't know it.
I have no idea why he's even making this pose, though. I thought, oh, is he stretching his arms? Maybe because he's been shoveling. But it's too close up. It's too close up to tell. It makes it look like he's doing the Space Ghost pose. And also something, it looks like the inbreeding where his dad fucked a chicken. Looks like it took away his eyes and his fingers.
Yes.
He's got webbed hands.
He has webbed hands. I think related to the Zek from Zach Reacher. You'd have these fingers to avoid working for mines.
No, he's not.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nowhere near related to anything that interesting
or cool. Or fucking Werner Herzog holding up his fucking chewed off fingers. I may like this cannoli piece. Show me your you've used for
If
me.
you've ever seen his documentaries, he's just like this friendly, wise old man. And then you see him in Jack Reacher. He's the most evil person ever.
I'll give here's this second page. I'll give it this the
I'd
composition.
rather talk about Jack Reacher. So our review is now
So
about
yeah, Jack Reacher. So
Jack
about Jack
Reacher.
Reacher.
It's a surprising how good that movie is for
Yes.
basically just what seems like a Tom Cruise action vehicle.
Yeah, an action vehicle. Yeah, just an action flick. I'll say Jack Reacher. Not great, but it's surprisingly
I
good.
give it an 8 out of 10.
Oh yeah, 8 out of. Well, I would actually give it more like a 6, but a high 6, like a 6.8, or maybe you know what, maybe a 6.9. Maybe I would get a 7.1, a low 7, I think, because
7.95.
oh
6.95. I mean, that way it's so close to a 7. Might as well just be, if you round up, it becomes a 7.
Yeah, you know what? If you round up, yeah, that's what. If I say it's like a 6.9, I personally really should just be saying a 7. But
I give it an 8 because it's an 8.8. Because kind of
8.8,
like Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess, which was not really that good. It was not an 8.8.
It was not an 8.
That was a 6. That was a solid 6.
I wouldn't even actually give it a 6. 6 is high for that. Especially compared to other Zelda games. For Zelda games, it's like a fucking 4.
Zelda games. Well, now that you mention Zelda games, let me tell you.
Oh man, Zelda! I love the Zelda series.
Wind Waker, I say, is one of those things that kind of bucks a score because it's kind of a 10 for the overall experience, but really when you're in the meat of it, it's like the sailing ages very quickly. It gets old fast.
That first level when you're in the Forsaken Fortress and you have to sneak around under a barrel, that was very confusing the first time I played it, and
but
honestly,
also very cool and comfy.
It was very cool and comfy, but at the same time, it takes a long time, and for an introductory combat area, they really needed to like simplify it. The dirty word streamlining. They needed to. For an intro to a game, you can't really waste the user's time, especially since it's not actually combat because you don't have the sword yet.
There's a difference between expansive and just padding. I think actually Breath of the Wild has a better sense of expansive.
Yes,
it's less padded. I mean, in a way, it's you can make an argument that it's padded, but each fucking temple, each of the temples is really just a mini temple, and each one has a unique puzzle, except for like some of the ones that are combat. But the combat ones are usually welcome because they're a unique combat challenge.
That honestly, to me, doesn't bother me at all.
No,
that is a great example of the Zelda series evolving for the better.
I know it's a little bing wahoo, but I think I would actually give Breath of the Wild a 10. And I would give Wind Waker a 9.
For the Zelda series, I definitely give it either a 9 or a 10.
Yeah,
Wind Waker also. As much as I have issues and there are flaws with Wind Waker, I still say it's one of the very best Zelda games.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Ocarina of Time by far.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked
Ocarina. And, I loved Ocarina of Time. I still love Ocarina of Time. And, Zelda Link to the Past. Yeah, those are great, classic, wonderful. It's not just nostalgia talking either. Believe me, I'm immune to nostalgia.
Oh, wait a second. Are we supposed to be talking about something else?
No. What the fuck are you talking
about? You're right. So about Breath of the Wild, like one of my favorites was still Link to the Past because it's just so classic and there's a lot of nostalgia. And
that is nostalgia. I admit to the nostalgia, but at the same time, the game is great. It's so well designed.
And it still holds up, actually. And that's rare. The Link to the Past, it's rare that a game that old really holds up, but it really does. And it's got great atmosphere and comfy. The Lost Woods, the fucking desert, the fucking dark world, all this shit has this great atmosphere. And it really wasn't until like Wind Waker I really liked because
our grandma actually lived close to a wooded area, just like a small wooded area.
Yeah, I remember that.
When I found out that the guy who made Zelda was it Miyamoto, I guess?
Yeah.
He basically came up with the concept and designed it and all that stuff. And he said that was his idea, was just like the idea of these adventures he came up with in his head while he was exploring in the forest.
Yeah, as a kid, he would be like having like fake adventures in his head of like, oh, there could be monsters around the corner and stuff. Oh, you know what? Speaking of forests, though. Oh yeah, here's a
Speaking
forest.
of forest, I don't. When is a forest not good? I don't know.
Here, I will say though, the composition of this page, it's okay. But then he goes, I don't know why he talks like that, but here lies Rascal. He was a good boy. Rascal, it's like
Was
it's
he a good
intentionally
boy?
trying way too hard to be like old-fashioned dog name, Rascal. And it's like, there's so many cooler, more interesting names. Like what if you just buck the trend and make your hero actually interesting instead of like the
Well, that's
archetype of a hero. These fucking
crazy talk.
these like zero integrity. You can tell like these people have no principles. Mitch Breitweiser doesn't believe in anything. He just pretends to for internet clout and attention. He doesn't actually have any principles or beliefs.
We already proved that in
But
our other.
you can. But the fucking ultimate proof of that is the way they make superheroes, where it's like superhero is stoic man. He stands on top of thing, and it's just there's no character to it. There's no depth.
Like, look at this pose. This pose is so dope.
Yeah, it's just poses and shallow surface
He knows how
details
to
for low
pose
IQ
and
people
vamp.
who don't believe anything, who just tell you they believe something. What you can tell somebody doesn't actually believe in anything when they tell you that superheroes mean something to people. That's just faggot nerd talk to trick others outside themselves into thinking that they
But
have
also, forget
principles
about
or
what they
beliefs or
even
values.
say. See what they do. Follow their
Yes.
actions.
Yeah, their
These
actual actions.
people,
And you
their
can
actions are cowardice and lies.
Yes, and Mitch directly has displayed that to many people, even people who know him personally. Even his own wife doesn't really respect him. It's kind of depressing and sad, but yeah, it's just like it's either like they stand on the rooftop and beat up bad guy, or they stand and pose, and it's really just shallow emptiness. It doesn't mean anything. Whereas even
To
in
them, it means a lot. To them,
like you look at My Hero Academia,
it
look at
means
that.
a lot.
It's about how, or even the original Spider-Man. It wasn't about heroic Spider-Man. He is the hero. He is the hero. He is the hero. He is the hero. It was about here's this guy who has this situation and the hardships in his life because of it. It's about the hardships. In this, it's just about posing. It's about shallow bullshit, and then some really low rent, shallow. Which I'm sure Mitch didn't fucking
Honestly,
know anything
the
about.
comic is actually about to get interesting because we immediately jump to the next page where a grown man is beating up a 10-year-old girl
Yeah,
for 35 cents and some bubble gum cards.
yeah,
Are
well,
those cards made out of bubble gum? What the
yeah,
fuck is a bubble gum card?
here's the dialogue. If you're gonna run away from home, kid, yeah, should bring more than 35 cents and some bubble gum cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kid is going to rue the day.
Total ruage. Pow oof. Give me my money back, you gorilla. Kid, you're gonna lose a lot more than your life savings. You're gonna lose your life. That's
Wow,
so
that was clever.
stilted dialogue. Such lazy, stilted dialogue. It's just fucking
It is pathetic. It makes me feel bad for the human race knowing that somebody did this and was probably very proud of themselves.
People paid money for that. I don't know how much people paid for this because I don't give a shit.
Too much. If it was free, it was too much.
Yeah,
this is already wasting my time.
This is not worth zero. Like I wouldn't pay even 1 penny to read.
We just did quick capsule reviews of something like 4 different Zelda games, and this comic is wasting my time.
Yes, exactly. I say, give me my money back. Really, is this how anyone talk? Nobody talks like this. This is the laziest, most artificial, fake dialogue.
It's because they couldn't think of actual dialogue, but they knew they needed some.
Well, they don't know what real people are like. They don't know what the world outside their little comic book nerd enclave is like.
Well, I mean, I didn't go
Breitweiser,
outside much either, but I at least watched movies and TV shows.
you can tell by Mitch's behavior, by how he behaves in real life. He's a sheltered little nerd who's never actually experienced anything. He's just a little.
He's not trying either. He
No.
isn't trying.
Yeah, he didn't put in the work to look it up.
Sheltered.
He didn't
trying.
He didn't do his facts, eh? But keep your change, you little brat. I'll shut you up for free. Really?
So he's giving him his money back.
So why is this guy doing this?
It's actually giving him his money back again suddenly.
I mean, that's nice, I guess. But here's the thing. Every time you have a villain, this is bare bones writing 101. Every time you have a villain, no matter how villainous, they're behaving that way for a reason. What is the reason? Yes. Because if they're going to be so simple and shallow, it's like, is he an alcoholic? Did kids overrun his village and kill his family or something? What is the specific animosity he has? There has to be a reason. You don't have to show it. There has to be a reason. And
his parents were killed by bubblegum cards.
Yeah, exactly. There at least has to be that.
I discovered the reason. I gave that to you.
And yeah, if you never even think of it, then you are no better than Mitch Breitweiser. You will just be a Mitch Breitweiser.
Are you paying attention?
Forever, for the rest of your life.
I'm giving you pearls here.
If you lived for 2,000, yes, if you lived for 2,000 years, you will still always be on par with Mitch Breitweiser. That's all that will ever be for all time, for all humanity. If you're just only seeing people interacting this way on such a shallow level without rhyme or reason or purpose or cause, even one that isn't shown. And that's, I don't know why I would even have to explain that. That's so, like, you'd have to be a complete retard to not even understand that. But you don't have to show it. There just has to be a reason. Anyways, so the kid says, I shall stand watch when the clock.
Get a load of this. This is another stellar example of the bad writing in this comic. Like, if you defend this, you officially don't deserve a mouth. You don't deserve to have a point of view that can be heard by others.
You deserve comics like the ones Comicsgate is putting out. That's how bad it is for you.
I don't know if anyone deserves that much.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
It's kind of like hell. I don't know if anyone deserves to burn for eternity.
I don't know if I would wish that on my worst enemy, but yeah.
But that is what they get. They get this because they brought it on themselves.
Yeah, it's what they're getting. I wouldn't wish it on you, but it's what you're getting because for some reason, as Jack Reacher said, remember, you wanted this. Anyways, I shall stand watch when the clock strikes foul.
The clock strikes foul. Like, actually stop and try and wrap your head around what that would mean.
It's like pretentious 15-year-old girl poetry already, and we're only one line in.
It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, but there is no fucking there's no context where that makes sense ever. It just doesn't. It can't.
It's gay bullshit. Anyways, a burning beacon, 2 fiends on prowl. Ignite the shadows till the last is gone.
To be fucking read like a moron. Well, yes, I guess it is. Yes.
Yeah. If you paid money for this, that is what you are, a moron. So yes.
But that's the way it's printed.
I feel like a moron reading this without even paying money.
It's lowering. Everyone in the room is now dumber for having read this.
Yes, that's Comicsgate in a nutshell. I mean,
I award Comicsgate no points, and may God have mercy on their souls.
I will say we're only like a few pages in, and this sucks already.
It's already so bad. It's so bad.
But it's not worse than Jawbreakers, at least. Anyways,
I don't know. Can anything? Are we sinking to such low levels? The math can't even figure out itself.
How do you
figure out how close to bad this is?
How do you quantify such shit? But anyways, shut up. If I wanted Tahir poetry, I'd stayed in grammar school. I know that it's not. But I don't care.
Well, that's the way you're supposed to read it.
Yes.
Even though you shouldn't. You
Anyway,
shouldn't. But that's the way it was intended according to the comic itself. It's so dumb.
this manlet jumps in though and says, "Time to go back to class, Tiny." He calls the bigger guy Tiny. I mean, this guy is bigger than both of them, so that's how you know he's good. I already sympathize and relate to this giant guy who wants to beat up a child.
He's built like Hercules, so yeah, he's definitely supposed to be the protagonist. I think he's the protagonist, definitely.
And here's another thing: is like I already relate to the cause of this big guy. He has better motivations than anyone, even though his right arm. Here, I'm gonna have to zoom in again. But his right arm here is it's better if I zoom in even more. Notice his right arm is like shrunkenly small, but his left arm is like freakishly huge, and it's not just the perspective either.
Yeah, that is not how perspective works. First off.
Yeah, because then, like, if you put his arm down to his waist, it doesn't even, like, it only goes to his waist, or it barely goes to his waist. That doesn't even make sense. That's not how human bodies work. What kind of anatomy blind, fucking incompetent fool drew this shit? By the way,
it is, they should not be getting work ever.
One other thing, by the way, the motivation, supposed motivation of the.
We already gave him more motivation than he actually has.
Well, in the comic, he says 35 cents. So, like, he's trying to rob someone, but nobody robs and beats up a child.
Exactly. Which I was trying to fucking state, but yeah, we have to go back. We have to cycle backwards to make sure this is
zero
for the dumbest.
Zero dimensional. That nobody, even fictional villains, don't just like beat up a child. That's going so shallow.
This is how you start your comic. Why do this?
Yeah, it's so crazy to be like, here is a bad guy. How bad
is a bad guy? He punched child.
You might as well have him like raping a baby if you're going to be this fucking simplistic and retarded. With like, the villain is so bad, he's beating up a child for 35 cents. That's not real. None of that's real. I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy any of this. If anything, if this was really going to happen, if somebody's going to kill a child for 35 cents, first of all, they have to be like Ethan Van Sciver, Mitch Breitweiser levels of mentally ill. Like War Campaign will probably kill somebody eventually. They are going to murder somebody.
There's several of them that are already on trial or in jail right now.
Yeah, like it's funny. He's making this the bad guy. Like, this guy's a bad guy for beating up his kid. But one of Mitch's and Ethan's good friends, Liam Gray, beat up his elderly mother just a few weeks ago and was convicted. And Ethan is still friends with him.
So this isn't hyperbole.
Yeah, what do you
say? Are going to be like, oh, you're lying. No.
And here's the thing, though. What was Liam Gray's motivation for beating the shit out of his mom to the point where photographs of the bruises had to be taken? What is the motivation? Usually, here's my guess, mental illness. Now, if that's the problem with this guy, there's no indication. But, shouldn't he be like a little more loopy or something? But no, there's just nothing. There's no reason. You could tell no thought was put into it. Nobody cares. Mitch Breitweiser, if he let this go, he clearly doesn't care. He let this go to print. Mitch Breitweiser does not give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about comics. He doesn't give a shit about writing. He doesn't give a shit.
Why get into this then if that's the case?
The grift. He's just in it for the grift.
That is basically it. Is he just wants to take your money? Are you going to let him do that? He's kind of like the villain in the story already.
Yes,
he just wants to take your money from you.
I like this villain more because he's going to beat up a child. But anyways,
this villain is not as fucking scummy.
Anyways, zero-dimensional manlet hero. He is.
Why is the hero is a manlet? The hero is a manlet in this story. Why would he do that? Everyone knows that's wrong.
He's a little gay.
Don't make your fucking hero a manlet.
He's short. That's how you know he's a fucking loser. Anyways, tag Yorit as he punches the guy. Just fucking lame. Like, nobody likes this in comics anymore. This is part of the reason why.
Also this horrendously shitty
comics
dialogue.
We know something that Comicsgate doesn't, because Comicsgate is stupid.
Everything.
Breitweiser has an IQ
Everything.
of at least 80 or less. But the thing is that they don't know is that
He can barely talk. He can barely even fucking cognate.
yes.
It's so fucking stupid.
But the thing is, the reason why the comics industry crashed is because comics like this were all anyone could buy, and people were like, "This sucks."
I'm not reading. That's a thing. We fucking, comics were huge in the 90s, and that was about the time we could have started spending our money on comics. I refused because they were terrible. I was 11 years old, and I couldn't stomach this dog.
Yeah, I was like 11 years old, and was like, I would rather waste my money on a bad video game than a great comic that's coming out at this era, because 99% of the fucking
99.9999%.
And you can tell that's true mathematically. We quantified that and proved it's true because Comicsgate says that Donny Cates' comics are good. They're not. They're average.
We don't even have to go into that. The industry died.
Yeah,
don't take it from me.
Yeah, you don't have to take it from me. The industry died.
Your fucking stupid ass shitbag industry killed itself and then went bankrupt. And now no one reads comics. And your response is nothing's wrong with the comics.
Yeah, we don't need to present it. Here's the thing. We don't need to present the evidence. The evidence is there. You can't see it because you're afraid. Mitch Breitweiser, you are afraid. Comicsgate, you are afraid. You're afraid to look at the
and that's the ultimate cowardice.
Yes. There is Mitch Breitweiser is a coward. We've proven he's afraid. He's actually terrified of us. We made him start sniffling and crying like a little faggot too.
There's nothing wrong with fear. Fear is a normal human reaction. It's how you respond to that fear.
Yes, which is in Mitch's case, was to cower. In Ethan's case, was to cower. In Richard's case, it was to start laughing like a retard and then fucking.
When you start making dumb idiot mistakes and lying to people, you have proven yourself to have a weak character.
Yes, yeah, and Mitch is weak of character, and it comes through in this embarrassing comic. He's just a little queer.
This 2 years late comic. This comic is 2 years late. It took 2 years.
Lazy shit.
Years,
yeah. Anyways, tag urine as he punches the guy. That's the kind of shit that got people to just drop this and drop this kind of comic in the
not even finish reading it. Like people you couldn't even finish reading this. And in fact, guess what? I know people are probably like, "Are you going to go on for 2 hours?" No, we won't.
No, yeah, I'm probably going to read another couple pages and I'm going to just quit. I
drop this like the piece of shit that it is. Why am I holding a piece of shit?
Yeah, but it's like the Orange Man. It's something I made fun of in but that was 2015.
Yeah, we so aptly called that.
Yeah, or was that 2014? And that was old by then. Was like the good guy punches the bad guy and goes, "Bet that got you right in the feels," or some lazy fucking like a joke or gag or quip or something. That's why people quit reading comics. That's why your industry died, because you're putting out comics like this. And here, you're going to revive the industry by doing this. We will see you fail. We already have been. Trust me, you don't have to take my word for it. All you got to do is wait and watch. We have been proven right through the passage of time in history on many, many other things. And this is just another one of them. Exact same situation. We've already seen it played out, and people were forced to admit we were right years later. This right here, just another case of that.
This was your big chance, Comics.
Yeah,
This was your big break to show everyone what you were made of.
You wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars on this. This is fucking embarrassing. And I
waited 2 years for it too. You didn't just waste all that money. You then waited way, way too long.
But some people didn't. Some people just started asking for refunds, and it goes to show that's how this was.
I don't have much sympathy for those people. Why'd they ever fund this dog shit in the first place?
Yeah,
you had no reason to fund this. You didn't know what it was.
As we've objectively proven, nobody bought, effectively zero sales. Nobody bought this comic. They simply bought the hype, the pitch, the snake oil. This will save comics. So people paid money not for the comic, but for
It's
the
snake
product.
oil. It's worse than snake oil because this doesn't even refill your dead eye.
Yes, this doesn't refill your Deadeye meter. But the thing is this, they paid for potential. Except when that was said about the PlayStation 3, eventually you could get something out of the PlayStation 3.
It wasn't, you didn't get the potential that they ever promised, but you at least eventually got something.
Something, yes. This, on the other hand, is nothing. Nobody will remember this in a year.
It's less than nothing. This is a net drain on the universe.
We've seen this and called this many times in the past. These exact situations many times throughout the previous few decades. We have seen this exact situation, called it, said it was going to happen, then it happened, and people are seeing it and saying, "Wow, you guys were right all along." And
one of the stars in the sky.
If you're not seeing it,
out.
yes, if you're not seeing it, that means you haven't seen it yet, and you're not honest enough to admit it. And eventually, one day, you will either have to admit it or go to a padded room. And some of you will be going to a padded room. We already know some of you are mentally ill. The rest of you are just dishonest and can't be. You're intellectually dishonest to yourselves. You don't know how to be how to be honest. You're not capable of.
And we're not making you do that either. Don't stop blaming us.
Yeah, there's nothing
blaming us.
Exactly. And that's what makes us superior. Our point is we are superior to you. We always have been.
And this is not ego or vanity.
No, yeah, we're not bragging. We're not
constantly accusing us of being too braggadocious.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
We're not.
We have never bragged. We have never once in our lives bragged. We have only stated the truth and got people angry at objective reality. See, that's what we do. We get people mad at facts. And we have a long, multi-decade history of it. And this is another example. All of you in Comicsgate, if you ever fucking even disagreed with us, you just got mad at facts. And there's nothing you can do about it. You lost. You lost the argument. You lost the war. We will always be right, and you will always have been
That
wrong.
shame you feel burning inside of you is normal.
It's not anger, it's embarrassment, because you know we're deep down inside, on maybe only a subconscious level, you know that we're right.
Not even a subconscious level, it's like beneath the subconscious.
Yes, subconscious. You know you can't admit it either. And we understand that
you want to be punished.
We understand that you are weak people. You have weak character. You have weak constitution. You're low IQ. You can't.
And that's why you like comic books.
Yeah, that's what
you like cape shit. I keep saying comic books instead of cape
it's inherently it.
But I've been told by them themselves.
It's a
mathematical one and the same.
Mathematical scientific formula that a weak, inferior person will always be attracted to superhero comics. And this is proof of it. I mean, Mitch is, we've seen Mitch like have meltdowns and start crying just over the slightest criticism.
And then he went and made a comic like this.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't care enough.
What did you need?
We didn't care enough. We're like, hey, when the comic comes out, we'll see it. And we will we'll scientifically break it down on a level that Comicsgate isn't smart enough to comprehend. Ethan Van Sciver can't comprehend what we're even saying because his IQ is too low. He's not smart enough. He's never been smart enough. He's about to be he has been caught committing a felony, and he's being reported for felonies right now, and very likely he will go to jail. Ethan will see the year. We will see the day that you're in jail, Ethan.
He could have avoided all this stuff too. All he had to do was be himself.
Yes, all he had to do was there's no way he could avoid it. Yeah, he couldn't stop being himself, so that's all there is to it. Anyways, again, the stilted it's try hard dialogue, it's try hard throwback dialogue.
But it's not even interesting. Try hard. It's not the kind of try hard where you actually want to read it, where you actually care.
Yeah, it's lazy and generic, and again, like we were talking about, Rockadoodle is just like one of the worst. Is like the worst fucking Don Bluth movie. It's just like even as
still better than this.
but even as
still better than this.
even as a child, I was like, oh, this sucks. I love cartoons, but this is the first one that I
I
saw.
love cartoons, and Don Bluth's movies are usually really amazing.
Yeah, but and again, Rockadoodle, that level of writing where it's just bland and lazy, that's the highest highs rise merely to bland in this fucking dumbass bullshit. Anyways, the guy's face keeps changing too. It's like it's not consistent. But anyways, you got Moxie Kid, but don't
That tends to be typical for Western cape shit, though. Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no standard. There's zero standards for writing superhero comics.
I mean, at the very least, if you're the artist, go back and redraw it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Have you heard of that? Have you figured on that?
This art looks really sketchy. Like the inking is kind of sloppy and sketchy, and I don't know who's it just sucks. It just looks ugly and lazy. It doesn't look like he worked very hard on the art. Even though supposedly people are saying, "Oh, the art's really good, it's detailed," it doesn't really look detailed.
Well, that's the typical cape shit defense. It's like, oh, look at the art; it's so detailed. I know it looks like shit though. I don't care how many crosshatches you put on things.
Yeah, it's just scribbly. Yeah, there's a lot of crosshatching, but there's a lot of it just looks a lot of scribbly scribbles. It's just like, eh.
And again, that's fine though. That's okay. That's forgivable if it's a free webcomic. If you fucking posted this to DeviantArt, fine. I don't mind.
Yeah. If this was a webcomic, people would definitely be impressed. They'd be like, hey, considering all the other webcomics, it's pretty good. As a print comic that costs money, no, I fucking wouldn't. I would not pay even a cent to read this.
How much did this cost? $20?
I have no idea, but even for free, I'm not going to finish reading it. I'm just going to read some of it and dump it. It's just.
Though I'm pretty sure it's $20. I have no basis for even making that speculation.
I could do better. I could do better for this without even trying. I could easily write better than this, and I have already.
Yeah, well, obviously,
even other pros like industry legends have admitted that. So what are you going to do about that, Comicsgate? You can't do anything. Gonna go cry. Gonna sniffle like Ethan Van Sciver sniffling. He went too far.
Ethan Van Sniffles.
Ethan Van Sniffles. Rethan Van Kreiber.
But again, $20 for a 24-page comic. Why would you even do that?
From Stuttering Mitch, this capecuck bitch. But anyways, the kid goes, I need a wimp, and then close up on some kind of stupid ring. Kid's really going around wearing.
I don't know what that close up is. It's a close up of a ring.
I thought it was the old guy.
Yeah, yes. But it's like, oh wait, is this guy back up? No, he's back down. Where is this? Who is that? That's definitely some old person's hand. That's for damn sure.
Also, if somebody's robbing you, if they're actually robbing you, first thing they do is yank your rings off. Why would they leave a ring on there when they're robbing you? That doesn't even make sense. But it's for lazy, cheap, shallow, low IQ exposition.
It's supposed to be.
I don't know what
it's.
You can tell it's just. I don't know what it's of. But you can already tell it's.
And again, this is a fault with the creator.
Yes,
who is writing this shit.
Low IQ, effeminate creator, Meltdown Mitch, stammering faggot Mitch Breitweiser has finally joined the Mile High Club. He sucked a dude's dick behind his wife's back, his beard wife.
Anyway, while sitting on his wife's ass. Oh, she's a mile up. Holy fuck!
It's a mile high. No, that's too much.
Yeah, this part two also is the fucking more of his shitty prose. Remember, light braves the darkness.
Yeah, that was another thing. He says, you don't have to be a wimp, but you don't have to be suicidal either. Remember, light braves the darkness. Darkness fears the dawn. No, it doesn't. First of all, no, it doesn't.
What does that have to do with being a wimp?
Yeah, so what? Who gives a shit? Hey, I don't care.
It's kind of like the fucking thing with Yoda. It's like, fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
And it's like, can't anger lead to darkness and hate lead to fear? Or, just, it doesn't matter. It clearly doesn't matter.
It's word salad.
Yeah. Anyways, would you like to sign my bubblegum card? He can make it out to Calvin.
Do you like to ask fucking random hobos for their autographs?
Yeah, after beating the fuck out of a stranger.
That's all that's happened here.
First, go back home. Tell your parents you're sorry for running away. But does he have parents?
Yeah, why do you think he ran away for a reason or not?
Yeah. Do you? Yeah. I mean, who says he
You
even
really
ran
think
away?
he has parents?
Yeah. Who says he even ran away? Maybe his parents are dead and he's just homeless. And then if you still want to be a hero, join the army. Well, why doesn't this fucking? He's sucking in his gut. So he's Hasselhoffing it big time as he's like throwing a bag onto the train. And then the kid, this kid just looks freakish. Look at this fucking like little inset panel.
Wow, this is ugly art.
Yeah, it's just like gross. It's just fucking gross and freakish. RR for Calvin. Wow, wow. What? So what? A guy put RR on a card, and the card's suddenly huge. But the guy put RR on a card. What does that mean? It's because it doesn't mean he's Red Rooster. I could put RR on a card. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything to me.
But again, that's especially what it means to the reader. It doesn't mean any fucking thing whatsoever.
It's
hobo giving his autograph.
It's a hobo putting 2 R's onto a card. That's all it actually means in the universe of this story. But also in a way to the reader. Now, what the reader's supposed to intuit is, oh, he's Red Rooster, but you've never seen Red Rooster anywhere in the comic. This is the first comic.
Yeah.
So
you've never seen him do anything else. Exactly. This is like the late in the universe, but this is not his origin story, and
all
you've seen him do anything else.
All you've seen him do so far is bury a dog, talk to a shovel, and fucking knock the teeth out of a fucking mentally ill.
Yes, another homeless person. Yes. It's bum fights. This might as well be called Bum Fights, the motion picture, the motion comic, whatever the fuck. It's not a motion comic either.
So this guy, he jumps onto a train, but why?
Notice how far away from the train he is, and then in this insert panel, he's immediately fucking caught up. It's like, could you not just draw him closer?
And it doesn't make him look
nowhere
bad.
Near the other guy, and then he immediately is holding his hand.
The sense of motion is pretty slight. There's some sense of motion at least, but it's not great. But whatever. So
it's approximately 10% better than the rest of all other forms of cape shit.
So what you done back there? There ain't nothing. Ain't seen nothing like that since the rooster was in pictures. You're good. Wow, what a fucking mention. Everything has to do with the Red Rooster all of a sudden. Again, that's lazy writing. You're a good man. Don't count on it. What?
What?
Why?
What? That's not a response. It was the fucking. This is like an Aqua Teen Hunger Force skit.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. It's like I have a genius idea that will cost you $20, and then he just teleports.
What are you doing? And then Shake responds, "I don't care."
Yeah, yes.
That wasn't really.
That's not really a response. Fucking, what's that have to do with anything? Anyways, fucking. So, cut to next page. Double. I think this is double page splash. It's fucking some guy in a gay mesh T-shirt shooting.
His power is that he's a supervillain, and his power is his gay mesh T-shirt.
Yeah, and then they're chasing, and it's just like the same old generic superhero cape shit that you've seen a billion times. Punches the bad guy.
It's like more. It's even more generic than that, though, because it's even got money flying around from the robber's bag, the bad guy's bag. He's firing his gun upside down, and then the fucking I guess this is Red Rooster, and he's trying to lasso him while standing on top of his motorcycle. It's almost like that part in the third Matrix movie where it's like, oh, the bad guys, they're walking on the ceilings now.
They're just on the ceiling. Yeah.
It's supposed to be the big, oh man, what's this amazing action scene gonna be? Oh, they're just upside down.
Yeah, they're just
that's it.
For the gay European sirens, wee-o. And you can see the shadow of the bad guy's motorcycle is just some scribbling back and forth, and it's like, who worked on this?
The shadow on the good guy's motorcycle is even worse. It's just he didn't even fucking keep it to the road.
It took 2 years to make.
2 fucking years.
It took 12 years to make. But
And it looks like the bad guy is accurately shooting. It looks like, despite being his gun being completely upside down, it looks like Red Rooster is just dead.
It's the next level of fucking of shooting with your gun sideways. Is shooting with your gun upside down.
Extra gangsta style.
Ultra extra gangster style. I have a feeling though the colorist was getting these pages like all of a month ago and being like, these are 2 years late. Hurry up and get them finished. And the colorist is just like,
the colorist who is his wife.
Okay, just
the colorist who is his wife.
No, because that would require actual work. She doesn't do anything. She manages a damage control fucking company or some shit. that has been in legal trouble or something. I don't know. I've heard a lot of weird shit, and I don't really care if any of it's true either. So that's why I repeat all of it.
Here's another thing though about the cape, and I'm sure fucking cape fags will be like, "Oh, it's
a comic.
It's supposed to be a comic. That's the way it's supposed to look. Because his cape is extra large looking.
It's like
I don't care anymore. It looks fucking stupid as shit.
Yes, it looks retarded.
Don't do that.
It's like making a character. It's like making a character where they're fucking the first letter of their first and last name is the same letter, or rhyming.
Alliteration.
Alliteration is another reason why people look at comic books as being for stupid idiots. Because they're like really
for especially retarded children.
Yeah, it's for retards, because that is
colored shit thought up by overgrown children.
Yes.
In fact, that was the thing. Is one of the things I was thinking while reading this comic was, this is starting to give me flashbacks of The Boys.
Yeah, where at some point Red Rooster would just have his head caved in by fucking Billy.
He'd be shot right in the fucking. It looks like the gun is going right towards his heart.
Yeah, wait, where like the superhero is like, "Don't worry, I will save you," and the bad guy just shoots him, and the good guy drops dead. The fucking cape just drops dead, and it's just like, wow.
He's trying to lasso a guy with a gun
while standing on a motorcycle.
There's no way he would have lived through this, except your dumb, childish baby parable.
And it's really not impressive in a comic anymore to see somebody standing on a motorcycle.
It's not been
it's not happening. Yeah, it's played out. It's fucking trying to be like, look at the crazy things they're doing. It's not really that crazy. It's a comic book. If I want to see something really crazy, have the fucking the moon crash into the planet's surface. That would be fucking crazy. This is just fucking spaghetti night at the Esposito's house or some shit. But I'm at this point, like, go to the next.
His sidekick is named Strong Boy.
Wow, really creative.
Wow, we just completely ran out of steam on this comic.
Yeah, well, I mean, the main character is called Red Rooster. There already was a Red Rooster, copyright Argo Comics. Mitch Breitweiser couldn't even be original enough to come up with a new name for his dumb fucking for this boring, generic, lazy, low IQ fucking just it's like wallpaper paste.
Even then, though, here's the thing. Let's stop for a minute here. You could have possibly made this work.
I'm ready to stop.
We are ready. I am completely. It's not right here. A comic that has run out of steam as far as this own comic. I've run out of steam too. Yeah. I am tired of this shit already.
Mitch clearly ran out of fucking energy and interest at this point.
It gets worse. They really could have at least made this work if he stopped and thought about it.
Yeah, if he decided
decided to put the work in.
If he had talent, though, or skill of like being able to come up with something interesting, but he can't. He never could. He never would be able to. In order for him to start with this, had to have been not a comic book fan.
Somebody tells you, "Hey, you're at the cusp of a new independent creation clubhouse. You can make anything, any comic you've ever wanted. No fucking holding back. What's your first idea?" You never come up with anything like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't even cross your mind because this is too boring.
Yeah,
it's boring. Too weak.
It's been done.
Is this really the comic?
It's derivative.
You want to read.
It's derivative. Like, this has been done many, many times before.
It's not even guilty of being derivative. It doesn't even cross that line.
It
It doesn't even
rise to the
rise
level of
to the
derivative.
level of being derivative.
The thing
Because
is
then
that
it would still at least have a hope.
the thing is, Mark Millar did that Jupiter's Circle or Jupiter's Legacy or whatever, where it was kind of like this, except it was more creative and original and inventive, and it still wasn't even that good. I mean, I actually kind of liked it, but it was, it's not wholly original, but it still has more ideas than this.
Originality is kind of overrated, but even then, that's not the purpose.
It's also underrated. It's underappreciated. It's overrated but underappreciated. But the thing is, Mark Millar is more inventive and creative than this. He had more ideas. This is Mitch just running out
Well,
of
I also get the feeling from reading Mark Millar, from reading his comics, I get the feeling he's making comics he himself would want to read.
Yeah. Whereas Mitch
is not anything. This isn't anything anyone wants to read.
a very lazy attempt at trying to make a new.
And I think that's actually that really comes through. This isn't like hyperbole being like, oh, the comic's so boring. I think literally he thought he was going to cash in on the fucking multi-million-dollar cape shit revival that Comicsgate promised.
He thought he would sell the name. That's the only reason why he made this comic. He doesn't have any beliefs. He doesn't have any values. He doesn't have any principles. Just as Comicsgate doesn't, as we have already proven years ago, objectively quantify.
And I'm tired of having to even fucking go back and repeat it.
Yes.
And then have people like, you don't know that? Yes, I do.
To this day, after multiple years, everything we've ever said about Comicsgate stands unrefuted and has been proven true, even by other people who wanted to support Comicsgate.
And it's not a prophecy either. It's not like, oh, I'm so capable of predicting these things. This is generic pattern recognition.
Yes, a blind man could make these observations, just like Jerry Seinfeld said about Jiminy Glick. A blind man could make these observations.
Even then, Jiminy Glick is somebody who I enjoy.
Anyways, the next page is like Dateline, September 15th, 1930, and I'm already bored.
So you already know that this is taking place in an era it shouldn't.
Yeah, 1930. Here's the thing.
This is less interesting in the 1930s.
Nobody really makes interesting stories about the 1930s.
Hold on, there's also the fact that
freakish, insane murder rate and violence that was going on.
We forgot the fucking the supervillain superpower, which is that he has a metal jawline over his jaw. I guess it would protect his jaw from getting punched in the face. I guess not.
I guess he should have said. You know what? That would have been another, at least a fucking one-liner for him to say.
No, I'm overthinking it.
I guess not.
I guess I'm already overthinking this more than the creator did.
Yes. Good job, Mitch. You didn't care. We can see that you just didn't care. And if you don't care, then why do I care? So I say we fucking leave it at that. I'm not interested in reading.
Oh, wait, you forgot this line. The cockadoodle do-gooder.
When I saw that, and I was just like,
Again, it's like, why are there? They also imply that this guy Motor Mouth. Oh, wow, creative name, but it's going to be like, oh, you're going to be. It looks like you're going to be doing 5 to 10 years for his 3-day tour of mindless destruction. This is the 1930s. They're probably going to put him to death. Oh no, you can't have that. This is a simplistic children's parable morality play.
The cops would pull you out back and just pop you in the head, just stick themselves with a little knife and say, he attacked me and I shot him in self-defense. That would be interesting. And what if Red Rooster was on the same side of that and he was like, would he have to square that circle with like, well, these are the cops. I sent this guy into the cops and they murdered him.
No, it gets
defenseless. What do I do about that? I don't know.
You're thinking so much more than bitch Breitweiser ever thought his entire life. He has a line here. Our state troopers are out there each and every day keeping us safe from menaces like Motormouth. Well, really? Doesn't look like it. But I'm especially tired of that bullshit. It's like, you guys are the real heroes, says the fucking superhero.
So why are we
riding around lassoing fucking villains? Can we stop with this faux fucking
working class hero shit?
Yeah, I don't need to hear this working class hero crap.
But yeah, it's like
I'm tired of that, though. Everyone is tired of that.
cops in the military, they're the real heroes. Then why aren't you telling a story about them? You fake
Yes.
liar. You fake
Why
pretend
did we not?
faggot.
We didn't even see the state fucking troopers in this comic.
Exactly.
Where's their heroism? You didn't show us that.
Where is your Judaism? Judaism, where are you?
Well, actually, we do know where their Judaism is because they just tried to scam people on a shitty comic.
Wait, is
So
that
there's the Judaism.
is that Judaistic? I don't know. You know, it's not my not my place to say, bro.
Not my place to say. Not my place to judge. You have to decide that for yourself.
Not my place to joke and watch Comicsgate take it completely seriously as if they have autism and
Okay, I'm done.
recognize sarcasm or
I closed the fucking comic. I am fucking done. Let's read some comments. All the kids will be dressing up like these characters for Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's what Mitch had in mind was Halloween costumes and video games and
That was supposedly, yeah, that was supposedly his idea. Was his pitch, his elevator pitch was it's Batman if he fucked a chicken or whatever the fuck.
You're right about on the cover, by the way, the thumb being really wonky and looking weird.
When you really look at it, I didn't notice it at first because it's so boring.
It looks
so boring.
Yeah, the cover sucks. And again, capes. When I see a cape, I'm immediately like, no, capes are stupid. I mean, did you watch The Incredibles?
No, yes, exactly.
No capes.
Did he not see The Incredibles? He clearly didn't see The Incredibles because if he did, he would know better.
Or Watchmen.
Then again,
that actually started. That's actually where that started. Remember Watchmen? Fucking, it was Dollar Bill gets his cape stuck in the revolving door, so the bad guys shoot him to death, or was it the cop shoot him to? I don't know. I don't care. Fuck Dollar Bill and fuck Red Rooster.
The point is, capes are stupid.
But it also proves that in the 1980s, Alan Moore put more thought into a joke of a fucking death of a character than Mitch Breitweiser put into his entire badly drawn comic. So that's where we leave off. I'm not even going to read the rest of the comic.
I want to read the rest of the comments. Yeah, fuck the comic. We're done with the comic.
Yeah, fuck the. Yeah, I have no interest in reading any of the.
It was agonizing to even get through that much of the comic, and I actually read a few pages more of that.
It's a bad premise for a
There's
comic.
Nothing to see. Yeah.
Nobody even fucking acknowledges that except for us. We're the first people in the history of the human race to acknowledge,
and we shouldn't be
blindingly obvious that this is a bad premise for a comic too, where it's like throwback to the 1930s, but like he's got to learn how to do. I don't care. Other people have already done it. And
I don't know what he's got to learn because
Mark Millar
didn't catch me.
Alan Moore has done it and done it better. Fucking everyone has done it and done it better. Mitch Breitweiser, you can't do anything better.
My dog has done it and done it better.
And I could do it better. I could do this better easily.
In fact, we already have. I could
shit better in my sleep. Shitting in my sleep is not good, but it would still be a better comic. But if I did, it would still be a better comic as a comic than Mitch Breitweiser, the capecuck bitch.
This comic might just compels one to shit in their sleep.
Yes, shit
and which I don't recommend. 0 out of 10.
I'm going to shit like a fire horse. Yeah, if I was going to give this a rating, as far as all art compared to all art, Shakespeare, Citizen Kane movies, whatever, 0 out of 10. As far as
-1 out of 10.
As far as just comics, the comic book medium, 0 out of 10. As far as Comicsgate comics specifically, 5.
It's average. 5, which is average.
Average.
You know, giving something a 5 out of 10 is like an insult.
Yes, it's a 5.000. It is painfully average at best.
And really, Comicsgate, which for me is an insult to my intelligence.
Yes, just reading this was an insult to my superior, higher than fucking.
Just reading this was a cop out. It's so bad. Mitch Breitweiser should get a DVD copy, or a Blu-ray copy
of
of
Cop Out by Kevin Smith, because reading this comic, you could tell Mitch Breitweiser's entire career in the comics medium is a cop out. You can't. His art isn't even on par with like a bad manga artist. He's not. He's that shitty. And what is with the scribbly ink too? I really don't get that. It just sucks. Anyways, yeah, so I don't even care about reading the chat either. Yeah, this guy who says fucking oh wait, what is it? They can't even focus long enough to finish reading the chat.
Some people are apparently upset that we didn't spend enough time on the comic.
Yeah, believe me.
Why don't you
the whole comic?
How about this, faggot? You go read the fucking comic and review it yourself.
Yeah, go back, this piece of shit. Oh wait, no.
Why did you wait? It's raining. What are you doing? Hey, wait a second there, Bullet. Why it's raining? What am I seeing you pull out of your ass?
Why was that an umbrella and you were storing it in your ass? Why were you doing that? How come you're doing that?
You shouldn't do that. That's not where umbrellas go.
Yeah, don't do that.
Why would you store an umbrella up your ass?
Oh wait, I know why. Because you would actually like Mitch Breitweiser's comic. And it was, yeah, so we can't focus long enough to finish reading the chat because I'm just
and you don't deserve our attention. Yeah. I'm fucking
this comic. Yeah,
I was hoping there might be some good comments or something. I don't care anymore.
No. Well, who's gonna talk?
I don't care.
But I legitimately did not even read this entire comic. I just, in fact, I didn't.
It doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve my attention.
I skipped a few pages before we did the stream. That's it.
You know what deserves my attention more than this? Fallout 76.
Oh, Fallout 76. Now, if that was as a comic, Fallout 76 is superior to this. And it's not even a comic. It's a video game.
It would be an 11 out of 10.
11D, 11D.1111. 100, 100, 100.
100. How many times have I told you they don't sell beans individually?
I've told you 100 times they don't sell beans individually. Anyways,
yeah, let's just catch up. Fucking, I don't know. I'm trying to fucking see.
I'm done with this. I'm ready to take a break.
I wanted to read the other comments. That's the thing. I'm done with the comic.
Red Klansman rumor has it the sun will come out tomorrow.
Should we even admit that we pirated this comic? We pirated this comic and didn't give the money, and then we read it anyway.
Let's not admit that we pirated this comic without paying any money to it. Well, we won't admit that.
We've reviewed it so that we can tell people they shouldn't buy it.
Yes.
We pirated it for free so that we can tell other people they shouldn't even pirate it themselves.
Here's another thing, and there's so much more. We could read through the entire comic and find even worse shit or more hilarious shit to laugh at Mitch about, but I'm not even going to do that. I could also point out that his backers are angry that this is going to be in stores before they receive it. Basically, Mitch was like, hey, I got this deal with Walmart, so all you backers, go suck a dick because you're not going to get this comic first. Walmart, it'll be in Walmart first because all I care about is business. And that's true. He really doesn't give a shit about. Breitweiser does not give a shit about his backers. He never did care. Just the same way that Comicsgate doesn't care.
He doesn't care about business either. I mean, if you care about business, if you actually want to pay attention to the business, you can do that. Make sure you don't betray the people who helped you get this far. Don't betray your backers.
Well, too late. Too late. And again, with an $800, I put out a comic that was on time, actually got to all the backers first, immediately, in just a nice little email.
And most importantly, was actually worth reading.
Yeah, and other comics pros actually liked it, whereas not a single other comic pro actually likes this. They may say, like,
from what they say, there was somebody else who reviewed this, I think today.
Literal felons will white knight and make excuses for it to try to shill for it, but they don't actually like it. And yeah, there was some cuck who doesn't have, you could tell he didn't have any values. He didn't believe in anything. He didn't have any principles. He didn't have any values. Yeah, he didn't have arguments. And that's another thing. Is that if a comic is good, you can point out why it's good. But this one other guy, the other guy who reviewed it, he was like, the comic's really good because I like it, because it's good, because it makes me feel good, because it's a good comic. Just
he had
no
no points of view. He had no arguments. He just had like talking points, and none of it was relevant to the comic.
Yeah, and so that right there is further proof, as we've proven literally billions of times before, that Comicsgate doesn't actually believe in anything. They think they do, and they pretend they do, but they don't believe in anything, and they never will. And that's what makes us superior as human beings to them. And that's also literal felon Ethan Van Sciver probably going to jail soon for illegally selling copper coins and illegally claiming that they're actually made out of a precious metal. That
he's going to be apprehended and charged is because of that. The reason he should be in prison is because he took a healthy industry, an industry with the most promise and
potentially
history,
independent industry. Yeah, he made sure that it would stay dead and that it would be properly destroyed by his own actions, just through from illegal funding that can be connected to other felonies too.
Just in particular, the fact that he attacks other independent creators and prevents them from being able to make their own works.
I mean, the fact that Comicsgate can see that happen and not say we no longer believe in anything, the fact that that Comicsgate couldn't even bring themselves to admit it, shows that Comicsgate doesn't have any principles and never did. They never had principles. They just wanted to worship an e-celeb, and that's all Comicsgate ever was, even from before 2018 and 2017. We proved that. And there is no refutation, and Comicsgate hasn't even tried to argue against it. They've brought like fake non-arguments, but it's not an argument. And that's why we win, as usual. So make sure to unlike, reshare, comment, don't subscribe. Make sure you don't hit the bell for re-notifications.
Shall we plug our Patreon too?
Patreon there. Patreon.com/smuglaley. Is that in the banner? No, it's not. You know what? I can edit this banner real quick. That Patreon.com.
Yeah, we're now at an hour and a half. Oh, man, I guess we spent a little too much time talking about Wind Waker.
Did we? Oh, wow. It pops up nice and big.
Okay, we didn't spend too much time talking about Wind Waker.
We spent an appropriate amount of time because, believe me, as soon as I saw the first couple of pages, I already knew this comic was a boring-ass bag of shit. Generic derivative. Well, not derivative, because as you said, it doesn't even rise to the level of derivative. Imagine that. Wow, what a lazy cunt. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed seeing Mitch Breitweiser's career, because it is over.
Hope you enjoy the coronavirus.
Yes, which we have now officially cured ourselves of. We've shaken it off. This comic gave it to us because it was printed in China, because Mitch Breitweiser doesn't give a shit about American businesses or industries. But we got the coronavirus from this comic, and we already blew it off. We're like,
is Mitch Breitweiser a Chinese operative?
No, because they wouldn't even bother paying him. They don't. Why would anyone give a shit about Mitch Breitweiser? Nobody does. Except for the lowest of the low, the biggest, most whiny loser nerds on the planet would actually give a shit about fucking, oh, Mitch Breitweiser's comic. Nobody cares. This was an embarrassment. Just the first few pages, and again, I didn't even pre-read this, and I'm not interested in even reading the rest. I'm just gonna fucking
again. This was his big chance.
Yeah, he had a chance, and he blew it. So, make sure to, if you want to see actual good comics by people with real principles and real moral consistency, and people who aren't felons, follow us, check us out. Here's our channel. Wow. And here's our Patreon. Give us money for reviewing shitty comics like this, or in the future. Because we're actually going to read our next review, and I don't know when, but it'll be in the future. We're going to review Deprived, and that's actually a good comic.
Oh yeah, and I already read through all of that.
Yeah, and I read all of it because I actually wanted to. I read the first 10 pages.
It's just a comic that's about Dark Souls 3, and it actually pulled me in to compel me to read it.
Yeah, and we're not even really fans of Dark Souls or Souls-likes or fucking. We even, Dark Souls 3. I was like, I don't know, but hey, the comic, you don't even have to know anything about Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls or any of that shit to and we'll go through it and we'll all see together. Anyways, so yeah,
But yeah, and also check out our Discord. We have so many more interesting things than in Comicsgate. We have stupid ass cape fags coming to cry on the Comicsgate tomb.
Yeah, well, also simps, beta simp white knights who wished they could still support Comicsgate and all along wanted Ethan to win, who are now angry. Don't worry, we've made a little more space now. They left because we made fun of them for being simps.
All we did was pink name them so that they couldn't talk.
It was one guy, and a bunch of other former Comicsgate refugees all of a sudden got mad and left. And it's like, well,
they're weak.
More space. Yes, they were weak. They were weak all along. And in time, we prove and show that everyone who is weak is weak. We're the ultimate acid test for human character. And if you want to be able to see the truth, you better listen to Shitty Web Comics.